Welcome to the Cryptonomatron. Today I'm doing a review of WEPOWER. Now, I wanted to get this review out quicker, but their website was down last week for some unknown reason. Maybe they got hacked, or they had a DDoS attack, or they were just upgrading or doing some maintenance. But here it is, a week late, better late than never. WEPOWER is a blockchain-based green energy trading platform, and it enables green energy producers to raise capital by issuing tradable energy tokens. So let's get into it. So competition in the space is relatively low at the moment, but that is soon to change. Direct competitors will include PowerLedger, of course, came off a successful ICO a couple of months ago, and now in the top 50 on CoinMarketCap, and the price of their tokens has gone 20x, I think, from pre-sale. Other competitors include Acetron Energy, who I did a review on not so long ago. You can go and check that out. I'll leave a link to it at the end of the video. And another one that I saw was SolarCoin. Now, they're not exactly all the same. They do slightly different things with their blockchains, but they're all related to renewable energy, and in particular, Acetron wants to allow new projects to be financed and give investors in their token the chance to invest in these new solar or renewable energy projects. SolarCoin is a rewards program for solar electricity generation, where you get rewarded for with the tokens for every amount of power that you produce, and PowerLedger is going to democratize energy, basically let you sell your excess energy to your neighbors or anybody else that wants to buy it at cheaper rates than the governments will charge you. So all three competitors have slightly different approaches, but they're involved in the similar industry. So if you know of any more, please post it below in the comments section. So the problems they want to serve are numerous, and they're split into two different angles, the investor side and the producer side. So there are issues on our side as investors, and also in the electricity production side. On the investor side, they are threefold. Number one is the lack of access to investments on local and global level. That was another thing that Acetron noted in their white paper. Number two, it's a complicated and expensive investment process. And number three, limited transparency of investments. On the producer side, they lack capital needed to develop their projects. Number two, they have a long and extensive, I would imagine that is expensive, capital acquisition from banks and funds process perspective. And number three, a constant lack of own funds. So WEPOWER are set up to tackle these problems with the energy markets in general, and also tokenize the energy production. So WEPOWER essentially enables renewable energy producers to raise capital by issuing their own own energy tokens. These tokens represent the energy they commit to produce and deliver. So energy tokenization standardizes, simplifies, and opens globally currently existing energy investment ecosystems. As a result, energy producers can trade directly with the green energy buyers, consumers, and investors, and raise capital by selling energy upfront at below market rates. Energy tokenization ensures liquidity and extends access to capital. The WEPOWER blockchain solution is currently recognized by Eilering, one of the most innovative transmission system operators in Europe. So that's what they are. They are obviously blockchain based. They are concentrating on renewables, and you'll be able to hold the tokens and use them to either sell on exchanges or purchase the energy back from the producers. Now, energy allocation will depend on the number of WPR tokens held by the participant, but WPR token holders are going to be rewarded with 0.9% of the energy which is made by the producers that's donated directly back into the platform, and then the token holders can use or sell the energy once it's produced. So they're working in both Australia and in Spain at the moment. So they're expanding in both continents. Their team are a bunch of highly experienced energy engineers and former programmers. They have some notable advisors, John Matonis, E.L. Herzog and David Allen Cohen, all you may have heard of before if you've been investing in ICOs for a while. They're also supported by the Ministry of Energy in the Republic of Lithuania, and they will share part of the technology to countries that implement green energy and carbon dioxide accounting using blockchain technology. So it's an innovative model. Their aims are fairly standard, and let's take a look at the market now. Now, very similar to Acetron, they have recognized that the market is dominated by banks, funds, hedge funds that are keeping everybody else from investing in energy and not serving the needs of the renewable energy community. Now, this is one of Acetron's main problems that they had to overcome as well, they wanted to deal with. So WePower are doing something very, very similar. According to Bloomberg New Energy Finance, the 2016 level of investment into renewable energy reached a level of $242 billion US, which represented a 23% decrease over the previous year. And we can go down to the chart to have a look at this, and there you can see the growth was less in 2015 to 2016 as it was the year before, and it was reduced from 2014 to 2015 quite markedly. So WePower aims at cutting through the current problems of access to the capital for renewable energy producers and access to investments in great and profitable projects directly for the final consumers. So essentially, we'll be able to invest as token holders in new renewable energy projects that require funding. So you can become a sort of venture capitalist with your tokens should you want to. So we can see the market here is in the hundreds of billions of US dollar worldwide. I assume that this market is going to grow from here on in as countries look to renewable power over traditional fossil fuels and other climate harmful energy sources. And also nuclear isn't an option for a lot of countries that have extreme weather or are prone to earthquakes like we've seen in Japan. So renewable energy is really something that Europe is taking very seriously and other countries are following. So I expect the market to be massive in the future, bigger than it already is. We could see a trebling or even a quadrupling of the investment into renewable energy in the next few years. Now, you've got to take into account that there are more technologies coming. There's wave power, tidal power. Offshore wind farms are now very popular, especially north of Europe. Countries like Scotland, where I'm from, they've now experimented and actually run for a period of 24 hours solely on renewable energy power. So the viability is there. The market's certainly there, and as more emerging economies such as Asia and Southeast Asia are starting to implement more and more solar power and more wind power, we could see this market growing exponentially over the next few years. So the energy production market is a big business. There was 24,756 terawatt hours of energy produced each year in total from renewable sources only. The levelized energy cost from solar and wind averages about 50 euros per megawatt hour, most likely less. And the token market of energy production alone and sales is 1.2 trillion US dollars. So the market is absolutely huge. Current yearly investments, as we mentioned earlier, in renewable energy have fallen to about 242 billion US dollars, but still significant. In the future, they estimate that this is going to be a consumption of 100% renewable energy eventually, once all the fossil fuels are either used up or we transition to renewables completely to avoid destroying the planet. And they roughly estimate the market size at 11.5 trillion US dollars. Quite an incredible amount, really. And the market size is based on multiple investments that were required to reach a renewable energy level of 24%, which is 2.3 trillion US dollars. And taking into account it has to reach 100% at some point in the foreseeable future. So the platform is obviously blockchain based. It's a green energy trading platform. It will connect the energy buyers, which are the households and investors or market makers, as they say, directly with the producers of green energy. And this also creates an opportunity to purchase energy upfront at below market rates. Now, WEPOWER uses energy tokenization, as I briefly mentioned, to standardize, simplify, and open globally the current existing energy investment ecosystem. So you'll also be able to invest in projects that require funding. So once an energy producer is connected to the WEPOWER platform, the future energy production is then tokenized. Energy is tokenized based on the kilowatt hour unit, and one internal energy token represents 1 kilowatt hour to be produced at a certain time in the future. So when a renewable energy producer requires capital to finance the initial cost of a renewable energy project, he may sell a portion of the energy to be produced in the future on the WEPOWER platform. The buyer or investor then acquires the energy in the form of an internal energy token, and each energy token acts as a smart contract indicating the type of energy, when the energy will be produced and delivered, and the price tag. So the smart contract represents a standard power purchase agreement between the renewable energy producers and the energy buyer or investor. So the platform will obviously be decentralized. They are also looking at decarbonisation with the green energy and renewables, and also democratization of power, taking the choice out of the, giving it to the people and out of the hands of the authorities and governments where energy production has traditionally been controlled from. So they are going to combine technological stack elements, which will include blockchain, smart contracts, data analytics, and machine learning. The development will be divided into 3 distinct stages. WEPOWER Breeze, which is their entrance into the market. They will challenge the way how energy investments and purchases are done today by creating necessary technological layers for the changes to happen. They will then move on to WEPOWER Storm, which will be the growth of services and the usability, and managing energy flows via the smart contracts. And then finally, WEPOWER Hurricanes, the final step, which will be a new decentralized energy utility. And we'll look at the roadmap later on. So the fact that using the blockchain will allow innovative community interaction across all the apps. They will provide third-party liquidity through exchanges and decentralized exchange protocols, enhanced efficiency due to smart contract elimination of intermediaries or third parties or middlemen, enhanced security due to the immutability of data, cheaper maintenance versus centralized database systems, and history of transactions and predictions of transactions, and fault tolerance for decentralized apps or dApps due to decentralized nature of the blockchain. So they're first building a platform to help finance renewable energy and welcome everyone to join the platform in a trustless way where people might not otherwise meet each other, basing trust on pure math. With a vision to become independent from a centralized authority, they aim to develop the perfect platform for optimum value creation for all participants based on market conditions. Now, there is a demo. Let's look at it in the tech section. Okay, so let's take a look at the demo. You have to be logged into MetaMask to use it, so let's register a household. Okay, it's picked up my Ethereum wallet public address. See, it's got a list of places in Spain to register, so let's look at Guipuzcoa. I think it's in the Basque Country, is it not? And let's say our house is 50 to 100 square meters, and we use 3,500 kilowatt hours a year. Probably use more than that when I'm mining for music coin, which I'm doing at the moment, but nonetheless. And this estimates and predicts your usage of your electricity. Very interesting. It tells you how much power you're going to use at any given time. This is from January the 8th to January the 14th. And it says, based on your past energy usage, we predict your energy usage, and the prediction will adjust accordingly to your usage based on AI algorithm. So then we go to the market, and we can see you can purchase the tokens here. So we need to purchase in advance to cover ourselves for the estimated electricity usage from the period stated. So there we are. I'm assuming you can pay in Ethereum here using MetaMask. So it's pretty easy to use. If you're familiar with using MetaMask, then you can pop in and buy your energy very, very easily with Ether. So the demo, not exactly very successful there. I couldn't find out how to go back and start the demo from the producer's point of view. So we'll continue on now to the energy tokens and the use of the token itself. So if you own the tokens, you have the option of using the energy when it is produced. You can basically just exchange the tokens for the energy. Second, you can sell the energy before its production within the WEPOWER platform to any other user. And then third, you can automatically sell the energy to the wholesale energy market once the energy is produced and receive the energy price in fiat or cryptocurrency. This will obviously leave an ambiguity of the final settlement price as it's done at the market price at that particular time, but it provides a safety net for the fund invested in the energy. So the token sale model, as you can see, the green energy producers will donate 0.9% of all the energy financed through the platform back into the ecosystem, and WPR token holders will accrue green energy donated by the renewable energy producers that they've helped finance, and then the token holders can then use or sell the energy once it has been produced, as just explained. So very, very simple. So just to sum it up, if you are a token holder, you can use the tokens to receive the energy, or you can sell it before its production, or you can sell it back into the wholesale market as when it's produced and reinvest. So you've got a few options there, and that's where essentially the value of the token is going to come from. Now they've got a quite detailed growth projection there in the chart of how they are going to progress. At the top there we see the first through the 6th year, and then the amount of megawatts that are financed through the WEPOWER platform, and how many kilowatt hours, and then split into euros, and then the energy donated by the projects. And you can see this quite exponential growth going over a number of years. So on to the crowd sale now and the ICO details. The ICO begins on the 1st of February. The total token supply is currently unknown. They will outline that and determine it closer to the token sale date. And that will take into account Ether price fluctuations. At the moment, Ether is currently over $1,110. There will be 55% of the total reserved for the crowd sale, and the hard cap will amount to $35 million US. Again, the number of tokens will depend on the number of sold tokens, so they will be 45% for the team, community, and user growth. Unsold tokens will be burned. The soft cap is 5 million. It's already been met. The exchange rate for the token sale until the soft cap was 4,600 WEPOWER tokens, or WPR, for 1 Ether, and now it is 4,000 WPR for 1 Ether, which works out at, I get the old calculator out, and we'll work on a price of Ether at $1,100 just to simplify it. So you're looking at a token price of 27.5 cents roughly. The minimum investment amount will be $200 US, or equivalent in Ethereum. February the 1st it kicks off, as we said, and pre-sale was already successfully concluded after they met their soft cap and raised $3 million US already. The period of the token sale, the length, will be 14 days, and the contract address will be on the website there, as you can see. So token creation will end when either the maximum number of WPR is issued or the contribution period ends after 14 days. If less than the minimum soft cap is issued, token sale contributions may be retrieved. That isn't applicable. Unsold tokens will be burned. 20% will be allocated to the team, locked for 3 years in a vesting schedule, and tokens for future use, 10%, will be locked for 4 years. Community and user growth tokens will not be locked, so they will be 15% of the total. The tokens will be distributed, as you can see here in this pie chart. The team will receive 20%, future stakeholders 10%, community and user growth 15%, and contributors in the ICO and pre-sale 55%. And this is how they're going to use the funds. 45% goes to development, 15% connection to the energy infrastructure, 15% compliance with energy market requirements, and 25% will go back into expansion and operations. So details of the bounty program are here. I will leave a link below as usual so you can check out yourself. I don't like to go into too much detail about the bounty, but you've got some time left to accrue some tokens if you like doing bounty campaigns. So here we go, 1.5% of all the tokens will be allocated to the bounty program, but that will not exceed 525,000 US dollars worth of WPR tokens. They will be distributed in the following fashion. There will be a quality pool of 10%, ongoing translations 10%, moderators of social media etc. 10%, a Twitter campaign 5%, content creation campaign 35%, VIP content 17.5%, videos, written interviews, reviews and articles 17.5%, secret campaign 7.5%, signatures campaign 18%, YouTube campaign 2%, and a Telegram campaign of 2.5%. You have to fill in the spreadsheet, and general rules are applicable as per usual. You have to like the and join the Telegram group, Facebook, Twitter, and subscribe to the YouTube channel as well. And then there's some other stuff you have to do. Again, link below, check it out. They also have an affiliate scheme. I'll also link to that below as well. So let's take a look at the roadmap. They were born in 2017 in January. A 1,000 megawatt project on pipeline was secured in 2017 July. Minimal viable product was launched in August same year. The deal for grid integration test was signed in September. 14 energy engineers then joined the project. In October 2017, 3 million was raised in the open pre-sale. The public token sale will happen on the 1st of February, as we discussed, 2018. Countrywide energy tokenization test in Estonia will commence in April. WePower platform will launch in April, stage 1. The Breeze platform, I think they are referring to it as. Connection to the energy infrastructure will happen in May 2018. Testing will continue through July, and WePower will go operational in Spain in November 2018. Distribution of donated energy to the token holders will happen in December 2018. And further expansion will happen in January 2019, with stage 2 beginning in 2019 in February, where they will balance and frequency regulation. And then virtual power plant structure will happen sometime in 2019. So that's a roadmap for you. Let's look at the team now, and I'll do this with the white paper as it's easy just to scroll down and look at the key personnel. So Nikolaj Martinyuk, I think I pronounced that incorrectly, but nevertheless, he has a background in international renewable energy development, from plant construction to energy sales through independent energy suppliers. Nikolaj is responsible for overall strategy and business development. He's also one of the founding partners of Smart Energy Fund. This looks like he's got previous experience in renewable energies, and this is important. I like to see CEOs and core team members that have respective experience in the fields that they're trying to disrupt. I think it's important that they know what their industry is and how they're going to approach it and how they can make a difference in that particular industry as well, because so many CEOs, you know, they've maybe been involved in blockchain technology, but they've no idea about the way they're trying to disrupt the industry that the blockchain is going to be applicable to. So in this case, this bodes very well that Nikolaj has got the background, and also with the support, hopefully he's got the ability to push this forward and succeed. So it's something to take into consideration. Anyway, I digress. Let's get back to the team. So Arturas is also the co-founder. He's got a background in regulation and fintech. For the past 5 years, he has led a team of lawyers responsible for all fintech, blockchain and cryptocurrency related businesses and regulation at biggest law firm in the Baltics, Sorainen, I think it is. He's focused on investor relations and legal aspects. Kaspar is the Chief Technical Officer. He has worked on green energy integration and smart grids for over 7 years. That's excellent. And he's a well-known speaker at European conferences regarding energy systems digitalization. Heike is Principal Consultant for Catapult Labs Consulting Services team. They are providing different services, systems integration, post-security risk assessment support, etc., etc. And if we go down, the advisors, the key advisors seem to be John Matonis, who is a blockchain advisor. He was a founding director of Bitcoin Foundation, chairman of Globotex, which is a crypto exchange. And he's also worked at Visa, VeriSign, Sumitomo and Hushmail before, as well as many other advisory roles. Eyal, you might have heard of him before. He is actually a founder at MetaCafe, and also he's been responsible for Bancor Protocol. Lucas Kaire's there. He is a smart contract developer, and they have another notable energy advisor, David Allen Cohen, who is most recently, he was a member of the IOTA Foundation, and he's most recently launched his own ICO Clout, which you may have heard of. I did mention it a few months back in an earlier video. Trevor Townsend is Startup Bootcamp Australia Energy Program Manager. He's the head of that program. So the team looks very strong, and I've no doubt they will be able to deliver the platform with the skill and experience that they have. So their partners are numerous and quite notable. Their biggest partner is the transmission system operator Ehlering, who they've signed an agreement just a few days ago. And they're also partnered with some solar projects in Spain, Conquista Solar, Civitas projects and Novocorex. They're also partnered with Startup Bootcamp in Australian Energy, Spotless and many others running an energy program in Australia. So for their token sale and blockchain, they are partnered with Alignment Ventures, who are a one-stop shop for blockchain creation, Bancor, which is the decentralized liquidity network, CrowdMentor, which is a strategic investment and advisory firm, Amazix, community management for crypto projects, obviously handling their social media, etc. Bitcoin Suisse, which is a Swiss-based financial service provider specializing in crypto assets. TokenLot, which is the payment solution for tokens, and KR Token, which is a consulting company out of Korea that specialized in dealing with digital assets. For technology, they are partnered with Catapult for energy infrastructure, Wings is a technology partner, Metasite for software development, Blockchain Labs for smart contracts, and FinPass for their Know Your Customer platform for people that are buying in to the ICO. You know I like my Telegram and Twitter accounts for proof of support of community, and this is no exception. WEPOWER has over 11,000 members on their Telegram, so there's a lot of interest in this ICO. Moving on to their Medium, they do keep it updated quite regularly. Oxy, if that's pronounced correctly, is in charge of their community and the social media side of things, and she's doing an excellent job, as you can see there. News articles posted all the time. They're keeping busy, keeping the investors informed, which I like to see. And then on to Twitter, if it loads, yes, there we are. Twitter, they have almost 10,000 followers, so they're doing a grand job in the community. It's well supported, and they are posting on a very regular basis, keeping everybody informed about what is going on. So for the section you've all been waiting on, it is the verdict. And first off, we'll do the positives as per usual. Well, the number one positive is it is a proven business model. Other coins like SolarCoin and Power have shown the way forward, and WePower will be no exception in following their success. Also, there will be a lot of people that missed out on Power the first time round, and they will get into this because they will believe that WePower will follow in Power's footsteps, which it may well do. They have a working MVP. An MVP is a minimum viable product. They have the demo. It didn't work too good in the tech section that I videoed, but it is there and it is working, so they've actually got a platform to build on. Number 3, they have a very competent team and advisory body. The team has some good members with experience, and the advisors have been involved in major ICO and crypto projects previously. Number 4, to complement what I just said, the team has experience in renewable energies, and this will be key in managing to capture the market for their company. Number 5, there is a relatively low token price for this ICO. I've seen some reviews saying that there is 1,000 tokens for 1 Ethereum. Well, in the white paper, it's 4,000 tokens for 1 Ethereum. Works out around 27.5 cents. And that is relatively low. It's not as low as I would like, but it's not too high either. This has still got some room for growth. Number 6, there is a real use case for the tokens. You're going to be able to trade them. You're going to be able to hold them. You're going to be able to buy electricity with them or energy with them. You're also going to be able to invest them in some renewable projects. So there's a lot of uses for this tokenization model within the ecosystem, and that's a good sign for the value in the future. Number 7 was another thing that I noted, and that is they have excellent partnerships, not only with Ailering, who they are basically going into for the tokenization of Estonian energy, but also the Estonian government and all of their other partners, even in the blockchain and technological side, are going to be very supportive going forward with this project. So I like to see that they're actively seeking out partners that can contribute to make this project successful. And number 8, the business model, the way they're going about it, they're going into the green energy market, which is an emerging market still, even after all this time, even with $242 billion going into infrastructure projects in the last year. Renewables will take over the energy sector in 10 to 15 years, lock, stock and barrel. Oil and gas is finished, fossil fuels are finished, and renewables are the way forward. So, given that we know this, WePower could be a very sensible investment for the long term. So there were a few negatives that I noticed, as you already know. Number 1 was the undisclosed number of tokens. I don't know why they just can't fix the price to US dollar rather than Ethereum. It would have been far easier to do it that way and far more sensible just to say all tokens are 20 cents. This is how many we're selling. This is the hard cap. Done and dusted, and then everybody knows. Why peg it to Ethereum and then have to wait till disclose a number of tokens later? It's very silly in my opinion, and really an amateur mistake that could easily have been rectified a couple of months ago. However, by my estimation, if the tokens are 27.5 cents, then there should be around 120 million of them up for sale, which is not a great number, so there could be a good potential in this ICO. Number 2, the demo does not seem to be working very well. It wasn't self-explanatory after we reached a certain point. It didn't seem to bring up the numbers, and maybe I did something wrong, I don't know, but it doesn't seem to be working that well, and that doesn't really bode well for the future. However, just a minor point really. Number 3, the website was unavailable for a number of days. Again, you're coming up to you're a month away from your ICO. Having the website with security warnings and being inaccessible really isn't it really isn't what you want to show potential investors. And number 4, the last negative that I noted with this ICO is there is stiff competition in this sector. They have a lot of other companies that are going to be in competition with them, and we're in a very early stages at the moment. Once everything comes out in the wash and we shake everything out, who's going to be the last man standing? Who's going to be left? Well, WePower have got government partnerships. They've got partnership with transmission operator Ailering, so they could potentially do very well here. However, it's not going to be plain sailing for them. They're not the only company that's going to be doing this, and there probably will be many more that appear over the next few months. trying to raise money in ICOs and run blockchains for renewable energy. So it will be stiff, it will be difficult, and that is a negative for me. So my verdict on this ICO. Well, it's alive. I think I'm going to give this 3.5 out of 5 stars. It would have got more if the token metrics were more clear. If I knew exactly how many tokens and there was no confusion over the token price. In some reviews, like I said, they're saying there's 1,000 tokens for 1 Ethereum, and you know, in the white paper it says 4,000. So we'll go with the 4,000 on the white paper, providing that isn't a mistake. However, if it was better run, the ICO itself, this would have got more marks. I still think this has potential. Am I going into this ICO? Yes, I probably will put some money into this ICO. It won't be one of my top picks for this month or February, but it's certainly worthwhile going in. So I'm going to put in a minimum of 1 Ethereum, I think. Maybe more if the funds are available to me at the time. There are a lot of interesting projects coming up, and I've earmarked a lot of my funds to go into them already. However, I do believe longer term, WEPOWER may provide a very lucrative investment. So that's my review, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like, please subscribe. I'm not a financial advisor, obviously. I have to say this at the end of every video, but it's true. This is not financial advice. This is just my opinion. Please don't take it as investment advice. It's not intended to be. If you're going to invest, please invest with caution. Do your own due diligence. Do your own research. Invest wisely, and never invest more than you can afford to lose, guys. Yeah, always invest something, but not what you can't afford to lose. Now, this is my opinion. Again, I'm never paid for these reviews. I don't take any money. The only benefits I get if I have an affiliate link in the description and you buy tokens through that link, I may get a percentage. That is the only benefit I get from doing these reviews. I don't do paid reviews. I do not accept money from companies to do reviews. These are all my own opinions after looking through the projects. I always look at the white paper thoroughly. I always look at the project thoroughly as much as I can, given all the information that's available to me, and give you my honest opinion on it. As I said, I think this is quite a good project, maybe one for the longer term rather than just short-term flipping, but we'll have to wait and see. So thanks for watching. Just before I log off today, I've just got to announce that I am advising an ICO. I will leave a link to it in the description below. It is a blockchain for heavy industry. It's a very, very interesting project. Lots of big partnerships to be announced in the near future. Lots more team members and advisors going to be announced in the near future. It's brand new. They are hoping to launch in April or May with their ICO. There is a low market cap on this ICO. It's low token price. Again, it was one of my contributions from the ICO, the crowd sale point of view, that I wanted to keep the number of tokens down to a reasonable level and keep the token price down as well, and ensure the hard cap wasn't too high either. So that gives us investors a potential to make some money out of it. So link is in the description below. As I say, it's very early days, but please do subscribe to the website so you get all the latest information, and I'm sure the guys that are running it would appreciate that. So thanks for watching. I'll be back tomorrow with another ICO review. I don't know what it's going to be. I did run a poll on Twitter, but I've not checked it yet, so we'll wait and see. Okay, thanks for watching, guys.